Captain Noah and the Legendary Journey of the Gilded Seahorse. It was an ordinary Tuesday afternoon. Grey clouds covered the sky, and raindrops were drumming on the window pane. Noah's room was dim, but inside it was warm and safe. Right in the middle of the room stood a huge, brown cardboard box that his mother had bought from the market last week. To adults, this was just an old, empty box. Maybe old books would be put in it, or it would be thrown into recycling. But for 8-year-old Noah, this box was the fastest, most magnificent pirate ship in the world. Noah tied a red bandana around his head. He placed his sword, which he had cut out of cardboard and covered with aluminum foil, into the belt at his waist. In his hand, he held a spyglass made from a paper towel roll. "Crew," called Noah to the toys in his room. "A storm is approaching. Hoist the sails. Today we will find the Lost Sun Island." Barnaby, the plush bear with a button for one eye sitting on the bed, and Jasper, the toy parrot with colorful feathers, silently obeyed their captain. Noah stepped inside the cardboard box, that is, to the helm of his ship. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. The smell of rain inside the room was suddenly replaced by the smell of salty sea air and iodine. The carpet in the room began to ripple. The walls faded away. And the adventure began. When Noah opened his eyes, he was no longer in his room. He was in the middle of a vast, turquoise ocean. The cardboard box beneath him had transformed into a massive galleon named the Gilded Seahorse, its hull adorned with gold leaf and its sails made of pure white silk. The ship's masts stretched up to the sky. The wind filled the sails with a loud flap. Flap! Jasper the parrot, perched on his shoulder, was no longer a toy. He was a real, living, and talkative macaw. "Squawk," said Jasper, flapping his wings. "The wind is blowing from the north, Captain. Just as we wanted." On the deck, Barnaby the bear was pulling the ropes with his massive size. He was no longer a plush toy, but the ship's strong and loyal helmsman. Barnaby never spoke, but Noah understood exactly what he meant from his gaze. "Full speed ahead, Barnaby," shouted Captain Noah, holding onto the wheel. "According to the map, we need to pass through the whispering mists." The ship sliced through the waves. Noah felt the water droplets splashing on his face. This was the taste of freedom. After a while, the brightness of the sun faded. Ahead of them, a thick layer of milk-white fog appeared, sitting on top of the sea. This was the Whispering Mists, a region sailors were afraid to enter. Legend had it that compasses did not work here, only those who listened to their hearts could find the way. Noah did not hesitate. "Do not fear, my friends," he said. "Our ship runs on courage." When they entered the mist, the world became silent. Only the creaking of the ship's wooden hull and the splashing of water could be heard. Then, from very far away, melodies hidden within the wind began to drift towards them. Jasper shivered on Noah's shoulder. "Do you hear that, Captain? Mermaids." Noah looked into the fog with his spyglass. He saw shimmering tails on the water. Blue, green, and pink scales flashed within the mist. Mermaids began to swim around the ship. Their songs were showing the direction to go. Noah said, "Follow the song, Barnaby." The mermaids guided the Gilded Seahorse. Where the fog was thickest, Noah saw a giant purple whale rising from the water. The whale sprayed water in a friendly manner towards the ship and dispersed the fog with its tail. When the curtain of mist parted, a wonderful view appeared before them. It had become night by the time they emerged from the mist. But this was not a dark night. The sea was brighter than the sky because they had arrived at the jellyfish galaxy. Millions of phosphorescent jellyfish had risen to the surface of the water. They glowed in neon blue, electric purple, and bright orange. The sea looked like a liquid ocean of light. Noah leaned against the ship's railing and looked down. "Look at that," he whispered. "It's like we are sailing on stars." Barnaby extinguished the ship's lanterns because the light of the jellyfish was enough to illuminate their path. The ship glided silently over this riot of colors. Noah felt as if he could touch the light if he reached out his hand. This was a sight far more valuable than a pirate's treasure. Jasper shouted, "Squawk! Land ho at 12 o'clock, Captain! Land ho!" On the horizon, illuminated by the light of the jellyfish, lay an island where the silhouettes of palm trees were visible. The Lost Sun Island. The gilded seahorse gently docked on the island's snow-white sands. Noah, Barnaby, and Jasper got off the ship. The sand was so fine it felt like powdered sugar. The interior of the island was filled with the scent of exotic fruits. Pineapple, mango, coconut. The leaves of the trees were enormous. Noah opened the map in his hand. "The treasure is at the foot of the sleeping volcano, under the two crossed palm trees," he said. They plunged into the forest. Colorful butterflies accompanied them on the way. At one point, they saw a small monkey with golden fur looking down at them from the treetops. The monkey threw a mango at Noah and laughed, "Kikiki." Noah caught the mango in the air with a smile. "Thanks, little friend. Can you show us the way?" The golden monkey guided them, jumping from branch to branch. They crossed rivers and passed under waterfalls. And finally, they arrived in front of the small extinct volcano in the middle of the island. There, just as shown on the map, stood two palm trees leaning against each other in the shape of an X. Noah took out his toy shovel, which in his imagination was a shovel with a silver handle, and started digging. Barnaby helped him with his paws. Jasper was flying in circles above, keeping watch. Shortly after, the shovel hit a hard object. Thud! Noah excitedly cleared the sand. An old wooden chest appeared. On the chest, it was written, "Only those who know how to share can open." Noah slowly lifted the lid of the chest. He expected dazzling gold, diamonds, or pearls to come out. But what came out was far more fascinating. The inside of the chest was filled with light. But this was no ordinary light. This was the light of the world's most beautiful sunset, the warmest fireplace, and the happiest laughter. The warmth emanating from the chest illuminated the faces of Noah, Barnaby, and Jasper. There was only one object at the bottom of the chest, a crystal compass. Noah picked up the compass. The needle of the compass did not point north. On the needle, it said, "Home," and the needle pointed to Noah's heart. "This compass," said Noah, "will ensure that wherever we go, we will always find our safe harbor, our home." This was the greatest rule of piracy. The greatest adventure was knowing there was a warm home to return to. They returned to their ship with the peace of having found the treasure. As the gilded seahorse left the island, the sky slowly began to turn from orange to navy blue. Stars were appearing one by one. Noah took the helm. His eyelids were starting to get heavy. The sea was no longer rough, it was rocking like a cradle. "Good work, crew," said Noah, yawning. Barnaby curled up at Noah's feet. Jasper tucked his head under his wings. Just then, the sound of the ocean began to change. Another voice began to be heard through the sound of the waves. A very familiar, soft voice. "Noah. Dinner time, sweetheart." With this voice, the gold leaf of the gilded seahorse slowly turned back into cardboard. The endless ocean became the blue carpet of the room again. Jasper the parrot and Barnaby the bear turned back into their cute, motionless toy forms. Noah opened his eyes. He was back in his room. The rain had stopped. The last orange rays of the setting sun were filtering in through the window. He climbed out of the cardboard box. He felt a little groggy but very happy. He took off the foil sword at his waist and put it on the table. He didn't have the compass, but he could feel that warmth in his heart. His mother opened the door. "Hey, great captain. Did you cross the oceans today?" Noah smiled and hugged his mother. His mother's scent was much better than the smell of the ocean. "Yes, Mum. We passed the whispering mists, saw the jellyfish, and found the greatest treasure." "Really? What was that treasure?" "The way home," said Noah. After eating his dinner that evening, Noah took a warm bath. When he put on his pajamas, he was struggling to keep his eyes open. He lay in his bed. He took Barnaby the bear and Jasper the parrot next to him. "Tomorrow a new adventure awaits us," he whispered to them. "Maybe we'll go to space, maybe to the uncharted jungles." Noah laid his head on the pillow. The wind outside was whistling gently, just like the wind filling the sails of the gilded seahorse. The light of the street lamp hitting the ceiling of the room resembled the jellyfish galaxy. Captain Noah, in his safe harbor, set his sails toward the realm of dreams and fell into a deep, peaceful, and adventurous sleep. The end.